Let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only I'll punish everyone beside. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Chesto! One more time! Jeez! This will be my... It's useless. Please stop! You're right! Now's not the time for me to horse around with The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious!
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell...
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now that's more like it! Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The killer didn't take Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, that's wrong.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped...
I'm prepared. Ah, I just realized it.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap. Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down!
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured and got information about the bomb's location. Crap! Pay attention, this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagi and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they duct taped his mouth shut.
Damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the... Then, after they killed him...
Damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him, they duct taped his mouth shut. Whew, that was close, you guys. Thanks to me, you guys didn't get caught in the trap. Pay attention, this is how it... First, the killer tortured and got information about... Then, after they killed him...
Damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to...
Pay attention! First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about... Then, after they killed him...
Damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap! He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down! But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to...
Pay attention! First, the killer and got information. Then, after they killed him...
Damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk. But that was the trap! He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down! But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention! First, the killer tortured and got information. Then, after they killed him...
Damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk. But that was the trap! He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down! But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to...
Pay attention! First, the killer tortured and got information about the... Then, after they killed him... Crap! Pay attention! This is how it went down! First, the killer tortured and got information about the bomb's location. Crap!
We will never give up!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap! He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap! He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk. But that was the trap! He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to...
Pay attention! First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Pay attention! This is how... First, the killer and got information. Then, after they killed him...
Allow me to cut through those words! No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before...
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on...
Why do you always side with Hajime?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face...
The blood on his face came from... Which means the duct tape was on his face.
And the duct tape had a lot of... He must have been struggling to open it.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so we wouldn't be able... Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't...
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need...
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer? If so, it's friggin' crazy.
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one craft... If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was...
Can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in... Yeah, and right after I opened the warehouse door. Which means it is plausible to think that
Killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the time...
based on the pattern of it, we should suspect that some kind of set. I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks.
Damn right it is! The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter. Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible...
There should have been a way to tip it over with...
Or perhaps opening the door intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
The direct cause of the oil lighter found at...
The killer used some... He lit the curtain on fire.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
The direct cause of the oil lighter found at...
The killer used some... He lit the curtain on fire.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an...
They probably just threw the light. Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
The direct cause of the oil lighter found at...
The killer used some... He lit the curtain on fire.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil?
They probably just... Based on the shape of... It can stand up...
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
Some way?
Maybe they used
There should have been a way to...
Or perhaps opening the door intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter. The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some... He lit the curtain on fire.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil?
They probably just... Based on the shape of... It can stand up...
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
Some way?
Maybe they used
There should have been a way to...
Or perhaps opening the intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
The direct cause of the oil lighter found at...
The killer used some... He lit the curtain on fire.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil?
They probably just... Based on the shape of... It can stand up...
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
Some way?
Maybe they used
There should have been a way to tip...
Or perhaps opening the door caused...
I agree with that. I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other and it's just a single line leading from the warehouse.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those
A domino effect.
You mean in place of those tiles? So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second, and from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else...
I see!
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse.
That's it. So the strange...
But those sounds weren't the only... Looking back on it, it was also...
So the door... And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the...
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open...
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway... There wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was...
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, people inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave.
Now they...
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up in...
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly...
You don't mean... This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim.
Huh?
Not just the...
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to...
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but... tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the leg, tying both arms would...
You couldn't do much with... It'd be impossible.
How about if you use your... Or if you use your...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but... tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with... It'd be impossible.
How about if you use... Or if you use your...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. To actually tie up your own arms... That's obvious.
Tying just the leg, tying both arms would...
You couldn't do much with... It'd be impossible.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be...
You couldn't do much with... It'd be impossible.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
No, that's wrong.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should...
It burned because of the fire, like you... But that was part of the trap. Trap! Trap!
I see!
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve was a burn like this, no matter how... That rope was burned in advance, so...
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right?
Yeah, that should be the...
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagi. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it.
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand.
Hajime, you tricked me.
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what? If he just propped the knife,
He could have used his...
If you're tied up, your arms won't... We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand. Even if Nagito's... How could he stab his...
if he threw the knife and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that?
Is he a throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right...
If he threw the knife into the... and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
It's wrong?
Even if Nagito's... How could he stab his...
If he threw the knife and let the knife, could he stab his hand?
Is he a throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
We will never give up!
Even if Nagito's right hand... How could he stab his right hand?
If he threw the knife and let the knife fall,
Even if Nagito's... How could he stab his...
if he threw the knife and let the knife, could he stab his hand?
Is he a throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow and slammed his right hand down on it?
Even if Nagito's... How could he stab his...
If he threw the knife and let the knife, could he stab his hand?
Is he a throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow and slammed his right hand?
Propped it onto what? If he just propped it, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. Even if Nagito's... How could he stab his...
If he threw the knife and let the knife, could he stab his hand?
Is he a throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it on. If he just propped, he could have used his...
If you're tied up, we don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand. Even if Nagito's, how could he stab his...
If he threw the knife and let the knife, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
I agree with that.
The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to...
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the He inserted the knife handle into that. If that's it, he had to place the...
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
Probably thought the fire would incinerate it and it...
So what do you think now, Ryuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right... The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed... If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a...
Then, he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the...
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and...
I'm sorry,
Like I said, if you got penetrated...
Say it one more time.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out!
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand, while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty.
You say you can't believe it? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and...
You just shut your mouth! It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything...
Monome's sassing me!
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. This might also be the same. Calling...
Then are you saying there is a killer among us?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia.
As Kazuichi said, it's true. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed.
I also want to believe that there's no killer.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible. I feel that there's...
What kind?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. That's how.
Everyone.
All right, let's do...
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand. If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth? Or maybe he used his front tail. I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
What are you saying?
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed, his right hand was covered by the knife.
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also...
Then that rules out his left hand. If that's the case, the only...
He used his... Or maybe he used his front... I know guys have tails that get hard. What are you...
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and...
When the spear stabbed, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move it...
But his left hand was also tied...
Then that rules out his left hand. No, that's wrong!
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that...
why? I mean, his left hand was...
But there was something off about his left. The blood stain on the palm of his hand. He only had blood on the lower area of his palm.
When the blood splattered.
That settles the description of that blood. Look, there's blood on the back of his...
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural blood stain, but...
We might need to think and use... If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand...
I see!
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking blood...
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could...
But even if he held the spear with his tied up...
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike...
Oh, I got it! Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake. However, what's important is what section...
I see!
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section...
Ah, you're right! So, and then, the blood that was supposed to ended up getting on Nagito's...
But why is it so important to know which...
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around and...
That is where the clue to solve this mystery... I am sorry. Of course this... It seems we are stuck.
At a time like that, how about we stick to... the plan to think one step at a time and...
That's a long plan, Nate.
One step at a time.
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned.
How it was positioned. It's all coming together! The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
If Nagito did that all by himself,
That'd be awesome, but
Nagito probably slung the cord. He hoisted the spear direct. And if Nagito let go of the cord,
I noticed a slight red streak on...
the blood on the cord probably rubbed. So, how about it? Using this...
Are you serious? He really committed...
He probably chose... If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, why did the killer use the knife and the spear so different?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear?
Then, he really committed every single wound on his body.
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear. That spear should not have stabbed which means Nagito wounded himself.
Did he put the duct tape on his...
He probably covered his own mouth so he...
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy! Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
However, there is one thing I still do not... Whatever became of that?
He was probably...
So why did he not just do that? If he had no qualms with killing everyone,
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb. He created a scenario where any of us could have
He tried to make us doubt each other. And tried to hide the truth behind...
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right?
What?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself. It's probably just my imagination.
So what are you gonna do?
What do you think it comes?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was...
You are right. It is not...
Then... if that means we're done with this last class, it's okay to read such a...
Then it's okay? Understood.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on.
Sorry, just a little more. I can't help but feel like...
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito.
That's true.
The mystery isn't just a... No matter how you look at it, I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a Hey, what if... There's just one thing that doesn't make sense. And it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence.
You're gonna keep going?
Crap! 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 We will never give up! Crap! Crap! I see! Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah.
Huh? There was something...
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of... The spear and Nagi...
Maybe it's not included if it's not important.
Well, Monica...
I plead the... There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Nikon's, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Are you saying that applies...
Hold on a sec. Then, are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's but it's not. Come to think of it, did Nagito really?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! Because you believe in his malice, I see. I guess that's what passes for
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we I think we should keep going until everyone...
You're right. We only get one...
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with...
This is friggin' annoying, but if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma! You heard us.
We've come this far. That's what I believe.
Oh, splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
No!
Monami. By now, anyway, everyone is united against it. That's why I will fight the only way I can. That's basically it.
With the cause of death missing...
Why don't we try removing all our In the beginning, our discussion advanced by... It's better to confirm if there are any other
possibilities.
If something other than the spear killed Nagito...
That was definitely a gruesome wound. But...
If you think the cuts on...
Are we finished all...
I feel like...
Then let's bring up whatever we can think of.
Exactly! Let us consider a different fatal wound.
It's not the knife in his right hand, right? It's not the other wounds, right?
With all those wounds, maybe he simply bled to death.
There's no way he burned to death.
Was the cause of death something that cannot be seen?
I agree with that.
That's it. I totally forgot about that possibility. If the cause of death was something we can't see, then we have to consider poison as a possible method.
Poison? It is true that poison is not something we can see, but why did you bring that up all of a sudden?
I remember, when I went to investigate Nagito's cottage, I discovered something really strange. Inside the refrigerator, I found a bottle of Monokuma's special poison.
Poison?
Additionally, that's a poison made specifically for killing. I see. Now that you mention it, there's no way a toxin like that doesn't relate to the case at all.
If poison was the cause of death, it would not—
However, it's common for blood blotches to appear on a body that's been poisoned.
I see. You sure seem to know a lot about medicine.
What does that mean?
But, even if blood blotches appear, if the body was all— there's no way we'd notice them.
Did he wound his body just to camouflage that?
That's also a possibility.
But still, both of Nagito's hands were...
His left hand was tied up and gripping the—
If it was a slow-acting poison—
No, the warning label on the bottle explicitly—
Then it's impossible. Both his hands were full.
And this is when the hardtail appears!
You're totally overvaluing that tail!
His mouth was covered with duct tape, you know. If he wanted to drink poison, how'd...
If there's no way he could have drank the poison— Just kidding. It's not like—
Are there any left?
Hell no! No matter how you
Since we've already ruled out so many possibilities, it might be easy. Operation Elimination Method. The hint should be written on the poison.
We will never give up! It's all coming together! What if instead of drinking the poison, we assume he inhaled it?
Inhaled?
It's written on the poison's warning label. Dangerous when vaporized. In other words, breathing in the gas is fatal.
Poison gas! Then all he had to do was...
Breathe that poisonous gas inside the warehouse? But if poisonous gas had spread throughout the warehouse, why didn't it kill us?
I see! The sprinklers in the warehouse. Thanks to those, we didn't inhale that poison gas.
The poison gas disappeared because of the...
Well, this was also...
Of course! The chemical bonds that form the poison were broken down by the water from the sprinkler!
Also, the poison is apparently denser than air, so it probably didn't affect us because we were standing.
But Nagito was laying down, so he must have breathed...
If it meets the requirements that well, maybe it's not just...
Yeah, the true cause of Nagito's... The wounds on his body, the spear in his...
So what?
Huh?
We figured out that Nagito died. In the end, it doesn't change.
Nagito inhaled the poison he...
Well, with this, we have a clearer picture. All right. All the mystery should...
Well...
What? There's...
Hey, what happened?
There might have been...
Chiaki!
If Nagito committed suicide by inhaling, then why wasn't there anything that looked like poison at the crime?
Anything that looked like...
If Nagito brought poison to the warehouse, it's strange that we couldn't find it there.
I see! Are you talking about the container the poison was...
Yeah. If Nagito...
He can't carry around poison without putting it...
Yeah, that was written on the wall.
The container probably melted in the fire.
It's probably plastic or glass. Even the plastic fragments of the fire group...
Then, does that mean someone...
So that's why you mentioned it...
I mean...
Like, does that... I mean, even if he had an accompaniment...
You're right. Someone might have accidentally...
Ah, you're right!
You're right! Isn't it okay to close this case yet?
That's no good.
Huh?
I feel like Nagito is By calling this Nagito's suicide, we're trying to take the easy way out so we don't hurt anyone. But if Nagito was here right now, he'd probably be sneering at us. He'd probably say something like, "So that's the extent of your hope."
So Nagito's ghost is whispering to you. The power of friendship bursts beyond death, huh? A fiery outcome like this is right out of a teen manga. Still, that's pretty messed up.
Shut up! You just be quiet.
I get what you're saying, but... In the end, the reason he died is even if we solve this mystery, the conclusion won't change at all.
I mean, it'd be a suicide regardless, right?
Even if there really was an accomplice, like Fuyuhiko said earlier, it is...
But I just can't imagine ending this by turning our backs on the truth.
It's fine, okay? There are some things we're better off not knowing, and we probably just didn't notice it. Like maybe the container was hiding with the fire grenade fragment.
Got it!
I see. I got it.
Huh?
The fire grenades. Nagito put the poison inside one of the fire grenade canisters and transported it to the warehouse.
He used one of the fire grenade canisters?
Yeah, the container with the poison in it wasn't secretly taken away by someone. Instead, it was in a container that didn't need to be taken away in the first place. As long as he put the poison in the same container, it can be hidden with the other fire grenades we used. So,
Bastard. He totally knew we were gonna throw those fire grenades.
Which means, did Nagito exchange the
yeah, that has to be it.
When I first discovered those fire grenades, the canister was completely sealed shut by a layer of aluminum underneath.
You just have to peel off that seal.
That is true, but there was...
Hold on. Did you...
Hajime.
If so, then there's no mistake.
Seriously? That's impossible!
Sonia's words are proof. Huh?
I can prove it with this. Take a look. We found this under Nagito's bed when we were investigating his cottage.
Huh? That's just a piece of track.
No. The seal I saw on that fire grenade matched this. It is the same aluminum.
You found the aluminum seal under Nagito's bed?
There's more. That's not the only thing we found in Nagito's room. We also found a gas mask and gloves under his bed, too.
Did he use those?
It's a dangerous poison after all. He took extreme caution when swapping them.
So what's the issue? Nagito put the poison in the grenade canister, so in the end, he still...
You're right. The canister wasn't thrown away.
See? I told you.
I admit that there wasn't an accomplice. In actuality,
What did you say?
Hey!
What the hell?
Is this not settled? There is no denying that Nagito's death was a suicide.
no, it's not.
Chiaki
I'm sorry.
realized what?
We know Nagito used the grenade can, so when was it deployed in the warehouse? When I thought along those lines,
The horrifying...
it probably...
I see! Are you saying it was when we all threw the fire grenade?
Yeah, I think so. When we all threw the grenades to put out, the poison was deployed.
If that is true, then the person who brought the...
One of us?
What the heck?
One of us threw the...
Hold on a sec.
It would mean he didn't kill himself.
You said so yourself!
You mean,
Do you know?
who prepared the poison fire?
I see! It was Nagito, obviously. We just discussed...
Then who set the warehouse fire that caused one?
I see! That was also not...
Hey, how many times are you...
The next question will be my last. Why did Nagito set the warehouse?
I see! Don't tell me. He set the warehouse on fire just so we'd have to throw the...
He set the fire just so we'd put it...
It was a trap.
A trap?
Preparing the poison. It was all a trap to make one of us
Seriously, I'm asking...
I don't know. The person who threw it probably didn't know either.
Huh? Could it be... Was that Nagito's trap?
This wasn't an intentional murder. This was a murder that Nagito forced someone to do, and for that reason. He put the fire grenade that he filled with poison with the other grenades. Setting up a murder nobody can solve. That was Nagito's true goal.
What the hell?
Nagito did not commit murder. Instead, he manipulated someone else into killing him?
To do that, he set a trap to force someone to kill him. The poison grenade and the fire were traps. That's why the curtain was the fire's origin point. All the fire grenades we threw at the curtain shattered once they fell to the floor. Because of that, Nagito, who was laying face up on the floor, and then...
Hold on! It might be the poison's fault they let go of this.
Even so, the poison is what...
That's right! Nagito's killer is the one...
Are you fucking serious?
That was his trap. Even the wounds all over his body. His true goal was creating a murder that nobody can solve. He wanted to prove to us there are mysteries that just can't be solved with educated guesses.
He probably expected that his fake suicide would be found out. After all, a mystery that can be solved is destined to be solved in the end. However, he also prepared a as you solve mysteries and bolster your... For those of you who believe there are no unsolvable mysteries, that is when you finally taste despair. Meaning, he used all of the prior class trial verdicts to prepare this trick. Not all mysteries can be solved. Such a devious trick he played on you, as expected of Nagito.
That's totally messed up. That's so fucked up.
It is my fault, because I told you all about the fire grenade. I am so sorry. Please vote me as the killer.
That's not the fucking issue.
It's not Miss Sonia's...
But what should we do?
It's impossible. Nagito wanted to create...
However...
That's right! There's no way he'd be able to figure that out, but Monokuma doesn't know. This trial doesn't count.
You know, I don't actually need stuff. I know perfectly well what's happening on... I know you used the bathroom 3 times yesterday, Sonia. And one of those visits seemed to take a while.
Please stop! I will never become queen!
How can you... I'm so chill. I mean, how can you have such an awful power?
So, of course this trial still counts. Do your...
Yes, he says. How the hell are we supposed to do that?
Is giving up all we can do? No.
Is there any way to figure out?
Even though it's just a hunch, there's one way. Hey, is it all... I want to make sure I'm Hajime.
I got it. Let's... Here's everything that happened in this case. The person who actually arranged this incident was the victim, Nagito Komaeda. He kept a specific item inside his cottage that he needed for his plan. Monokuma's special poison, which he brought with him from the Octagon. Using the gloves and gas mask that he got from the military base, Nagito swapped the contents of a fire grenade he took. When he did that, a specific item was... With that, Nagito finished making... and put it back with the rest of the grenade. As he gripped the tip of the rope hanging over the ceiling girder with his left hand, he lay down face up, But this was just the beginning of Nagito's plan. And then... which In conclusion, the fact that we... This should be the truth behind Nagito's trap.
How about it, Chiaki?
Just as I thought.
You say we just have...
What Hajime said is... Did Nagito really not... He said this to us earlier. That feeling of belief is at the heart of his trap. He believed we'd notice the fire grenade, and he believed we'd fallen by believing in us. Nagito was able to put his life-threatening plan into effect.
What do you mean, believe?
And what's wrong with...
There's one more thing, remember? Something that Nagito believed. I want you to try to remember.
I see! Nagito believed in his talent as the ultimate lucky student.
Guess the last thing he could believe in was his own talent.
But, in his case, it was pretty remarkable, wasn't it?
You're right. The same thing happened when he cleared the final dead room at the funhouse. But his luck doesn't have anything to do with the case this time.
I just thought... he factored in his belief in us. No, there's no way. No. He wasn't just a person to set up as the a target. The target's true identity. That's why he relied on being the ultimate lucky student. As long as he had his luck, he both... You mean...
He risked his life?
He probably risked his life just so his ultimate luck could decide this.
Who is it? Who's the target Nagito was after? I see! That's it? The traitor. Nagito was after the traitor, huh?
Then he relied on his luck to weed out the traitor?
Nagito didn't know who the traitor was until the very end.
Then what he said in...
So he was just bluffing.
That's probably true.
But if he just wanted to out the traitor, he didn't have to go this far. Damn it! We're all in a huge bind.
It means he wants us to beat the traitor.
By finding out who the traitor is, our hopes will shine even brighter by overcoming that despair. That's something he'd say.
Mon ami, it looks like you've got something you want to say. But...
And that concludes my argument. Nagito's plan was to make the traitor kill him.
The only thing we can do is...
If we don't, then we'd just be relying on our...
But even if we do, I mean, if we don't know who the target is...
You are absolutely right. If, by chance, the traitor revealed themselves during that bomb scare, what would have happened? Would it have...
Huh?
But they couldn't help it. Because they weren't created to do that.
Chiaki?
What's wrong, Chiaki?
That's why...
You want us to...
Yeah.
What?
Who do you think it is? Who do you think the future foundation...
Why?
A traitor who's not allowed to...
Why?
A traitor who can only
Why?
Because that's the nature of their existence.
Seriously?
Who do you think? Hajime.
It's... Chiaki, you're the traitor?
Please!
You totally guessed right. Just as expected. Yep, you're correct. I'm the traitor. The agent sent by the Future Foundation to hide among you all is me.
Hey, Chiaki.
Chiaki is the traitor? I'm sorry.
Hey, what are you saying?
What does this mean?
What? After all, we have been working Chiaki. Being a that is obviously...
Please, wait!
Shut the fuck up!
No, I have...
Why?
Because we already know the killer, so the only thing left to do... Hold on! If you say you are the traitor, please, we cannot go until we are satisfied.
Hey, if you're really the traitor, why'd you...
It's weird, isn't it?
It's definitely strange, right? Or rather, why was I able to do that? Maybe... Hey, Hajime.
Favor?
I want you to prove to them that I...
What? What are you saying? Why do I have to do that?
I want to explain everything to you guys, that's why. I want you to do it.
Whether I can prove it or not, don't you understand? You may as well be asking me to kill you. There's
I'm very sorry.
Looks like we got it. It's not like I believe she's the traitor.
If she was just disguised or something...
She's not this cause Chiaki isn't the
Monami?
Too bad. I'm not part of this. I don't know anything about that girl at all.
Hey, are you trying to...
I've always been a... That's why I have no relation...
Hajime, you're going to look...
Chiaki isn't my friend. I hate Chiaki so much. Hajime, you stupid face! Let's all get along. Hajime, you stupid face! I won't let you. I'll lower your grades. Burst open and mix! I won't let you! I can't lose! Hajime, you stupid face! I won't let you! Burst open and mix! Don't defy your teacher! I'll lower your grades! Burst open and mix! Hajime, you stupid face! Let's all get along! Let's all get along! I'll lower your grades! Hajime, you stupid face! Let's all get along! Chiaki and I aren't best friends!
This is the end! We investigated Nagito's cottage. I discovered a notebook with a new Sami. That's your notebook, right?
I don't tell me. Is that where...
That's right! Since I...
Give me that
Is the traitor's
Nagito was probably looking for that too. But you wouldn't know who the traitor is just by reading this note, however.
You know?
It took me this long. First of all, this isn't Monami's diary.
Then the one who wrote this...
Someone connected to Monami.
If so, is this, like...
Is it evidence that they were observing our actions?
But how would you know who the
Because there's an entry written in here that only... In the notebook, there was a specific entry. There it is. It's true. I tried to go inside the final dead room, but the only one who knew that... That's right. The only person who knew that is... Chiaki. That's why Chiaki is the only person...
There must be some mistake. I mean, what was all that time was that all a lie?
Miss Sonia...
Chiaki is... She is being controlled by Monokuma.
I'm not satisfied either. I mean, if you were the traitor, there's no way you do something so
Now that you mention it, Chiaki and...
She tested it out right away after...
That doesn't make any sense.
Chiaki probably knew the bomb was a fake. That's why she also knew Nagito's trap was a bluff.
That is a mistake! Why are you saying such things?
Of course not!
I will not believe it! There is...
But then nobody will be...
Chiaki is not the traitor!
When we were trying to turn off the bomb, didn't Chiaki use the card reader right away?
If she's a traitor, she would have been more cautious.
There's no way Chiaki would have known if that bomb was fake or not. The only person who knew it was me when I tried to detonate it. Chiaki is not the traitor.
When we were trying to turn, didn't Chiaki use the card?
If she's a traitor, she would have been. There's no way Chiaki. If that bomb was fake, the only person who knew me when I.
Unless you know a whole lot about, there's no way you know if it's fake just by looking at it.
Chiaki is not the traitor.
When we were trying to turn off the bomb, didn't Chiaki use the card reader right away?
If she's a traitor, she would have been more caught. There's no way Chiaki. If that bomb was fake or not, the only person who knew it was a fake.
That's not it. Sonia shouldn't have been the. Monami was also there when you found out. You said so yourself.
Is that true?
Chiaki heard about it from Monami.
Since I've been found out, the reason I couldn't tell anyone I knew the bomb, I would have had to explain how I heard.
I do not want to hear that! Enough already. I do not want this anymore.
Sonia.
And does not mean we should. Even if she knew the bomb was fake, that does not prove Chiaki is the traitor. If that counts as evidence, I should be doubted too. After all, I also knew the bomb was fake.
Knowing it was a fake isn't the problem. What matters is who told her. What matters is that she heard about it from Monami.
There was someone other than me and Monami who knew that bomb was fake. That someone is Monokuma. Monokuma said so earlier, correct? He knows Monokuma probably told Chiaki that it was fake beforehand. There was someone other than me and Monami who knew that bomb was fake. That someone is Monokuma. Monokuma said so earlier, correct? He knows everything about it. Monokuma probably told Chiaki that it was fake beforehand.
You're right. Monokuma. But Monokuma shouldn't have told.
That...
No, he won't lie at times like this.
Hajime!
That's not...
It's just, even if Chiaki is the traitor, that basically just means we have to believe it.
That's not it.
Telling us to trust his luck?
There's no way I can believe.
I'm telling you, that's not... We shouldn't believe in Monokuma. We have to believe in Chiaki.
Huh?
It doesn't matter who the traitor... Even if Chiaki is the traitor, that's not the Chiaki I believe in. The Chiaki who's been... That Chiaki is saying she wants to protect us with her... So the only thing we can do is believe her. If we don't, nobody's going to be saved.
Damn it.
Hey, can you listen to me a little? There's nothing to be sad about, you know? 'Cause this is different from what happened before. Unlike before, you guys don't have to stay alive by doubting someone. You guys can stay alive by believing in me.
Are you telling us to believe in you?
I'm sorry. Monami. I'm sorry too. You're probably gonna get scolded by a lot of different people for this, but still, I want to protect everyone by any means. And I'm happy that I'm able to do that.
It's not up to me to decide whether that's right or wrong. However, I believe it's truly amazing that you were able to think like that. We could even call this a miracle.
Hey, what have you two been talking about? Everyone's jaws are dropping, you know?
I know. It's voting time, right?
Hey, Chiaki.
You don't have to worry. Believe in me, and cast your vote.
Why?